we got a quick Travis Kelce Taylor Swift update. For those there's always an update every day. For those who don't know, like Travis bought a racehorse or invested in a racehorse. It's a good horse, and the name of the horse is Swift Delivery.
Swift Delivery, that's cute. When did he buy this horse?
I think recently, but the horse ran Saturday in pretty big race in Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. A special morning episode of the TomCast. This is the Tominator, Tom Chericello. It's Thursday, September 5th, 2024. Hello, Morgan. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good morning. So instead of drinking after the podcast, we'll eat lunch after the podcast today.
No mimosa?
Maybe we might have a little bit. All right. So let's get right to it. The first big topic we have is 60 days till the election. The polls show that Kamala Harris, it's not Kamala, it's Kamala, right?
You know, I'll never know. I feel like everyone says it
Kamala
different.
Harris is slightly ahead, but within what pollsters have what they call the margin of error. Like, so in any poll, like say they have one candidate at 50% and one at 47%, there's a 5% margin of error.
How are they testing that? How do they know who's ahead? I think
they interview people. Like they call people up on the phone and stuff.
Who are they interviewing? I just don't even trust that at all. Like, what, some random people on the street, they just happen to say Kamala, so they check that person off for her?
When I was in college, like I was like 18, I worked for a market research company, and we had to like call people up on various topics. Like, so say the cable company hired us. Mm-hmm. That really happened. And we had to call up people who canceled their cable and say why.
Right, but think of like any call that you get from someone. Usually you hang up or you just like spew something out and shut the phone off right away.
That was brutal work, and like people would curse you out and hang up.
Yeah, Florida Blue just called me trying to schedule some call. I hung up in the middle of them talking.
And like I'm sympathetic to that because I did that job, but they make it too long. Like they should be like, okay, I'll ask you 5 questions, but you're on the phone for like 15 minutes and like. But I guess they have people that do that. Not only phone, they might do it in person or whatever, you know.
Don't you think that's a waste of time? I mean, is there a benefit to this? What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, they're wrong so many times. Like I could sit here talking about polls being wrong.
I just feel like it's pointless. We'll find out who wins. The
first debate is next Tuesday, September 10th. I don't know if there's going to be more than one, but the one confirmed debate. So
what time?
I think it's like 9:00
p.m.
Yeah. They want people to watch, so they don't have to do it in the afternoon. People are working.
But 9 is pretty late. It should be like 6:30.
9:00. He's like,
well, Trey won't stay up for that. Where are you going to watch it? The bar?
You can't hear it in the bar. I got to watch it at home.
That's a good call.
Oh, by the way, shout out today to Kirkland Water. For those who don't know, everything Kirkland brand is Costco. And I don't know why. I'm not a Sam's Club guy. I'm a Costco guy.
So I like Costco because I usually go there with my mom for the sample day on Saturday. But Sam's just has some more items that I like the Gatorade Zeros that I drink.
I love the Costco wings. Me and Joe, there's a Costco near our office, and like we go there for their wings, and they are great.
We
and
got
it's
the
like
drinks for the party there. They have the good ice cream too.
I don't like their chickens though. Their rotisserie chickens are too salty. Mm-hmm. They're cheap, crazy, like $4.99 for a whole chicken. Where like the supermarket and like Publix, it's way more.
It's like $8.99.
But I love their wings, and their ribs are really good, and I love their ribeye steaks.
I heard they came out with sushi recently, which I want to try.
Costco sushi.
Yeah.
So we were going with they might want to sponsor the TomCast. Morgan, you need to call up. I think their headquarters is in Washington, Costco, Washington. That's why they call it Kirkland. That's a city in Washington, I believe.
Okay, cool. Smaller cap, less plastic.
So we give them a shout out. Also going on right now is the Venice Film Festival. We're coming to you from Sarasota, Florida. There is a town called Venice, like right near us, but this is Venice, Italy. For those who don't know, there's like film festivals all year long, all around the world. The big one is Cannes, Cannes, in France. They have one in Utah. Sundance is a big one. Mm-hmm. Robert Redford, the actor, started it like 50 years ago or something. Toronto has one. Even us in Sarasota, we have our little film festival. It was last April. I went. A friend of mine had a movie that he produced that was at the film festival. That was really fun.
There's a Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah,
I went to that in New York.
That's a big one. So there's one going on in Venice right now. So I'm not going to talk about all the movies. I'm just going to talk about a few of them that are screening there. Now, they'll show movies. For those who don't know about film festivals, your movie could be screened in competition or out of competition. What that means is if you're in competition, you have a chance to win a prize if they vote you like the best movie. Out of competition is just a movie that they're showing there.
Okay.
So I don't really care who wins. I like what I like. I don't care about what critics say. That movie Reagan is out right now, and
we should go see that.
I would like to see that. And what's funny is if you look at these, like Rotten Tomatoes is a website that reviews movies, and they have critics review from 0 to 100, and the people who saw the movie. Now, usually there's some difference. Like critics will put down like a raunchy comedy movie, But like this one, Reagan, critics have it like 19%. The people who saw it have it at like 90%.
I feel like I would trust the people's view over the critics because critics are probably critiquing on
critics who hate Reagan. It's politically motivated.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I liked Reagan. I understand the criticisms of Reagan, but I think he was a guy who tried to do right and was sympathetic to both sides of the aisle. Like I try to be. I talk about it. Try to be objective, not just some people that are one party or another. They don't care. Their party could be dead wrong, and they're backing them. Like you got to try to think think for yourself.
Yep, agreed.
But anyway, getting back to the Venice Film Festival. So 3 movies I want to touch on is the first one stars Daniel Craig, who most people know as playing James Bond. It's called Queer. It's set in Mexico in the 1940s. He plays a homosexual, and like this is James Bond. Like the guy's ripped, Daniel Craig's
Are gay men not ripped?
No, they are. But I
think most of them are actually.
He's this macho James Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond playing a gay guy.
There are macho gay men.
I'm sure
they come in
right?
all shapes and form.
I'm sure.
I definitely will watch this movie. I think it'd be interesting to see him play that role. And if it's in the film festival, it's probably good, right?
I did see a trailer of it. He goes into a bar and like doing shots, and he sees a good-looking guy in the corner, and he's like, bowing to him, and the guy ignored him, and he's pissed.
So, can you see these movies in theater? Do they ever come out in normal theaters?
Absolutely, of course.
Well, then we'll go see it with Trey.
That's probably going to be out soon. I don't think
we're going to go see it together.
Am I like narrow-minded if I don't want to see a gay movie?
You are, and you're not going to be narrow-minded because you just talked about how open-minded you are. So the 3 of us will go see it together at Cine Bistro. Can't wait.
I have no issue with gay people at all.
Yeah.
I really don't. I just think my issue was more it's the 1940s Mexico about a writer. Like, do I really care? I'd rather see like action movies or good-looking women movies. Is
it more about like the struggles of being gay during that time? Like, I'm assuming it's going to have some type of storyline there with being gay in the 40s.
I think it's based on a real person, like his adventures in Mexico in the 40s.
Yeah, I think we should definitely see it. It's a storyline.
I'm just saying that on my list of movies I want to see, it wouldn't be.
You want to see the lesbian movie because you want the woman-on-woman action.
Next movie is one I want to see is called Wolfs, WOLFS. George Clooney and Brad Pitt reunite. They've been in a lot of movies together.
That'll be good.
And they play 2 what they call quote-unquote fixers. It's kind of hard to explain what a fixer is. Usually it's like it's not a legitimate job. It's like, doing illegal stuff. Like, individuals, maybe wealthy individuals or major corporations even will hire a fixer if there's a problem. I'd
love to have a fixer. That'd be great, just having someone like that on hand.
Like maybe a major corporation, their president gets busted for rape, so they call their fixers, hey, you need to make this go away.
Right.
Or maybe a movie studio has an actor or actress that's doing drugs and gets arrested. Mm-hmm. They call their fixer.
I bet that's going to be a good movie.
I saw the trailer. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And what happens in this movie is there's a mistake, and the same client hires both of them. So
to fix each other's.
They don't work together.
Okay.
They're like, we don't. Both of them. I work alone, but they're forced to work together.
They don't like each other, and then it probably shows them become friends.
Who knows? Maybe there's a gay scene at the end of that.
Oh, that's one I'd watch.
I don't know about that. Next movie is called Maria. Stars Angelina Jolie, which I thought it was interesting that, believe it or not, for those who don't know, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, their divorce is still not final.
When did they file?
Like 7 years ago or something, because
That's crazy.
Because they had like business holdings,
yeah,
like that they can't untie.
Now, do they have a good co-parenting relationship, or is it toxic?
I think it's bad. Like even
That's unfortunate.
I don't know this. Obviously, I was giving you my opinion, but like even some of the kids are taking Brad Pitt's name
over her.
Like in other words,
off.
I think their names, or a couple of the kids were Jolie Pitt, and the kids became 18 and changed it just Jolie.
Okay, so they're on the mom side.
Yeah, I think they're
versus
siding with the
dads.
mother. Yeah.
Well, what's just unfortunate about divorce is, like, I don't know if they're doing this, but if they pit their kids against the other parent, pit each other against, isn't that how you
Is
say
that a pun?
Oh, yeah. I did that on purpose. But, it's just wrong to do to the kids. But maybe they're also old enough to recognize certain things that happened in the marriage and they're just not happy with their father. I don't know. But that is crazy, 7 years.
But they're there at the same time. I doubt they'll be having dinner together or anything.
They might be at some same like after parties, though. Maybe there'll be some drama.
But her movie's called Maria. Most people modern day, like today, unless you're like maybe like an 80-year-old, have never heard of an opera singer named Maria Callas, who was considered like the best in the world in like the 40s, 50s, and into the 1960s. She was Greek, but born in the U.S., a Greek American. Interesting life. Like she was heavy. She was like 5'8.5" and weighed about 200 pounds. So she wanted men to like her, so she lost like 80 pounds and became really attractive, but it affected her singing, like losing that weight.
So is that a thing? Being heavier gives you like a deeper opera voice?
A lot of experts, I know very little about opera, but some experts said, well, she did some really good work when she was light, but a lot of opera experts feel that really...
Maybe it's the weight, the extra weight on your vocal cords. I don't know. I'm trying to guess here, but why would your voice change if you're larger or smaller? I would love a doctor to tell us why.
So there's controversy if that's even true. A lot of experts feel that did affect her singing.
Think about Adele. She used to be pretty large, right? And she lost a ton of weight.
Hasn't affected her.
And her voice is still incredible. But maybe opera singing, I think you do something different with your throat when you're singing. So maybe I don't know.
But Maria Callas was married. In 1959, she left her husband and started an almost 10-year affair with Aristotle Onassis, who was a name that you may not have heard of, but he was a very wealthy billionaire Greek shipping magnate. He owned a lot of things. And Onassis ended up, I don't know that he ever really left Maria Callas, but he married Jacqueline Kennedy, John Kennedy's widow.
Wait, who had the affair? You said an affair.
Well, she left her husband to have an affair with Aristotle Onassis.
So was he married, Aristotle? Is that why you're saying an
he
affair?
was, yeah.
Because otherwise it's just a relationship.
And then I think he left his wife and married Jackie Kennedy.
Wow. That's wild.
And that was like, there was a movie, there's been like a lot of TV and, theatrical films about Onassis and Jacqueline Kennedy, allegedly, I don't know, I've never seen it obviously, but they allege that the prenup even detailed how often they could have sex.
Is that legal?
Because she married him for the money. No, I don't know that would be enforceable, in my opinion. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, you have to have, and then what if you don't, then it's rape. That seems crazy. Who put that in there, the man? Typical man.
I don't think she wanted to have sex with him. Like, he wasn't really attractive. I mean, he got a lot of women because he was a billionaire, but
yeah, that's.
I don't think she did it for the money. Like, she was widowed, and I think the Kennedy Family Trust was paying her $150,000 a year, which was good money in like 1963. But she got like millions just to marry him. I think like $5 million.
Well, then she should have been having sex with him if that was kind of the agreement. You marry me, have sex with me, and I give you money. That was their agreement. But I still don't know how you legally could say you have to have sex, because that could turn into some type of rape situation.
I had a history professor in college he asked us one day. He was a very liberal guy, like wisecracking. He asked the class, he goes, who's the highest paid prostitute of all time? We're like, well, we don't know, And he goes, Jacqueline Kennedy. Like, she married Onassis for the money. And supposedly, like, if he would go through his number of sexual encounters for the month, he'd have to borrow from next month because he wanted it more.
What the hell? I'll take next Tuesday now.
Well, amount of days for this month. Can I borrow into October?
That's weird.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, you hear. And I think she got there's rumors about when he died how much she got because he left everything to his daughter, who became the richest girl in the world at 13 years old. But I think she got $25 million in from the estate.
Yeah.
Because the daughter just paid her off rather than have to, fight her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But so he had this affair. Supposedly, even after he married Jackie Kennedy, he still was with Maria Callas, like the opera singer. Wow. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm assuming they're going to touch on that in the Angelina Jolie movie.
Yeah. Her
affair with Aristotle Onassis.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
He was a larger-than-life figure, Onassis. I mean, a lot of controversial stuff he did to even make his fortune or keep his fortune, a lot of illegal activities.
And did he ever get in trouble for any of it?
No, bought his way out of it. I don't think he ever went to jail.
He had a fixer.
He probably had a lot of fixers. Very good point. I'm sure he did. So those are the 3 movies that interest me that are at the Venice Film Festival.
Queer is number 1. We'll go see that next week. Can't wait.
All right, we got a quick Travis Kelce Taylor Swift update. For those there's always an update every day. For those who don't know, Travis bought a racehorse or invested in a racehorse. It's a good horse, but the name of the horse is Swift Delivery.
Swift Delivery, that's cute. When did he buy this horse?
I think recently, but the horse ran Saturday in a pretty big race in Toronto, Canada, called the Toronto Cup for $125,000 purse. So, I used to own a lot of racehorses. If it's the purse of race is $100,000, that's good. And then it goes up from there. It could be. I mean, I had horses race for $1 million, purse of $1 million, but $125,000 is a pretty good race, and the horse came in second.
Oh wow.
So I don't know if she was at the race.
Well, did you not read what I sent you? The big rumor with Travis and Taylor. So apparently there is a planned breakup on September 28th. And so someone found some document by his PR team about how they're going to announce that they are broken up on the 28th of September. So let's see if it actually happens. I mean, that would be pretty wild if it does happen. And okay, so they probably already broke up and they just wanted to plan when they were going to announce it, probably because of just business things that are happening in their life. But we'll see. What? Yeah.
Apparently that's already been debunked. Travis and Taylor said there's no imminent breakup.
We'll see. I'm going to be waiting on the 28th.
We'll see if she's there tonight. For those, my next topic that we're going to go into, tonight is the opening of the football season for real. No preseason games.
Cool.
And the first game is Baltimore at Kansas City, which is a really good game. Kansas City, of course, is Travis's team. Both really good teams last year, expected to be really good this year. They actually played in the AFC Championship game last year in Baltimore, and Kansas City upset Baltimore. Baltimore was the favorite and went on to the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl. So we'll see if it is in Kansas City. We'll see if Taylor's there tonight. I guess she's not touring right now. The next shows, I think, are in Miami next month.
So she should be there. Technically, she's available.
Yeah, she should be there.
If she's not, I don't know.
I'll give you some Tominator NFL predictions, though. We'll start with tonight's game. It's in Kansas City, but I like Baltimore. They're going to want revenge for losing at the AFC Championship last year. Kansas City has injuries. Travis is 35, I think, now.
Is that old for football?
Yeah, it's old for football.
Okay.
Unless you're Tom Brady, which is craziness.
Yeah.
If you're
what's the average age, 28, 24?
Well, it depends on the position. Running backs, a running back's the guy they hand off to, for those who don't know a lot about football, but they burn out quick. And that's why running backs need to get paid. They're hey, I only got maybe 5 years. Quarterbacks last longer. You even see a backup quarterback can play till he's 40. Or Tom Brady was 45 or something.
Yeah.
But wide receivers can usually go longer. Travis is a tight end.
Did the Chiefs win the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, they did.
Was it 2 years in a row or something?
Yeah, they've won 2 in a row. They're going for what we call a three-peat.
Wow.
That's I want to talk about the word three-peat. That word originated when the Los Angeles Lakers were really great team in like the 90s or 80s and 90s, and they had a coach, Pat Riley, who's now president of another team, the Miami Heat. But the Lakers were going for 3 in a row, the three-peat, and apparently I read that he trademarked that phrase. That was pretty smart.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
We've trademarked that Tominator law, like 1 or 2. Like, it doesn't cost a lot of money to trademark.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you want to trademark "I'm on a roof," it's like $600.
Well, I
I know.
been trying to.
We haven't got that.
Don't talk about that. It's trademarked.
All right. Well, you're using it. We'll have to file that. That's a whole nother issue I could talk about. Like, apparently they say to apply for a trademark takes like 5 minutes. Like, apparently they say whether it's the government or people in China do it like crazy.
Well, because they want to get something.
Jam us up.
Right. Find something that someone might need, and then they have to pay them for it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
But he was pretty smart, and I don't know if he ever made any money off. He owns three-peat, but.
Yeah, you could put that on shirts.
I was looking at that one day.
Well, if they win, the Chiefs, we should make three-peat Chief shirts or whatever.
Like,
people would buy that.
I should trademark Tominator law. I think Tominator someone has, but I don't think anyone has Tominator law.
Well, we should definitely do that.
But in any event, they're going for 3 in a row. I don't think the Chiefs are. They have injuries, and Travis was a key part of their success. I think and I'm not knocking Travis. He's 35. He's wealthy. He's got a beautiful girlfriend. He should be enjoying his life. I would be doing the same thing, but. I mean, you read about what he did this off season. Like, he's traveling to all our shows in all these foreign countries.
What do you think he should be doing?
He should be home working out, getting ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is his job and his career, so he probably should, but you can work out in Italy.
I know you should have time off, but it has to be a distraction. Like, there's no way you can tell me, like, I'm focused on my job.
Right.
Like, I mean, even if I go out on Friday night to watch football, which I'm going to do because it's a good game on Friday night too.
Or we can go after dinner.
But after dinner. But I'll be there 8 o'clock from Saturday morning. You can count on that.
You do have a really good work ethic, Tom.
You got to do what you got to do in your job. I think I'm not going to preach to young people out there, but you want to have the brain to some degree. But if you work harder, you're going to be successful. If I had to give one young kid a piece of advice, just outwork everybody.
Yeah.
100, not 100%, not 110, 200%, and you'll succeed in life.
You'll be like Tom.
I don't know if I've succeeded that much.
You've succeeded. Don't be so modest.
I'm happy with my life, so I mean, I'm grateful more than even happy as I'm grateful. But getting back to it's got to be a distraction for Travis, like traveling all over the place. And, I guess in off season you should enjoy your vacation, but like. You wouldn't remember, I'm sure a lot of our listeners would. The 49ers had a great receiver named Jerry Rice, maybe the best receiver ever. And they say his work ethic was insane, like all year long. So
off season, he was probably just training?
Training every day.
What are the majority of these guys doing off season, though?
Well, they're young. I mean, even the oldest guy's like 40.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they're having fun,
Right. So what's the difference being at a club in L.A. till 6 a.m., but going with your girlfriend on tour in another country? I don't know. I'm just saying. He's probably not getting obliterated on these tours. He's probably just sitting there watching her.
I would like to know how many air miles Travis logged this year. It's probably insane.
Well, people always talk shit about Taylor because everyone's all about the environment, but then she's out here flying around in her private jet everywhere she goes, with all these exhaust fumes and stuff.
Give her a break. Was she supposed to walk to China?
No, but when they're out there trying to be like, save the environment, it's like, well, get off your fucking private plane.
But I expect Travis, a combination of his age and his personal life, I expect to see a downturn in his productivity this year.
We'll see. Maybe he'll prove you wrong.
He said they asked him that, and he goes, "I feel great."
He's in love. He's happy.
But he said he feels as good as when he was 25. So
all right, well, that's good. We'll see.
Hey, I like Travis. Don't get me wrong. Even though I think that $100 million they should be giving the Tominator $10 million a year. Amazon, what the hell? I could talk about every one of these teams, and we're going to do it right now. Let's go.
All right.
We'll start with. There's 2 conferences in NFL. AFC and NFC stands for American Football Conference and National Football Conference. And they have 3, now they have 4 divisions in each conference. East, North, South, and West. It used to be 3. I'm showing my age there, but all right. Let's start with AFC East. The Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills. The Bills have been like winning that conference, for that division, for the last several years. I think that we're going to see a major downturn from the Bills. I think the Miami Dolphins are tough. I mean, they added players, great quarterback, receivers.
Do you root more for Miami because they're in Florida, or probably the Bucks, right?
I've adopted the Bucks. Like, even before they got Tom Brady and won the Super Bowl, like, I grew up like in New Jersey, the Giants. I always hated the New York Jets, but that's another story.
A Naperville guy is on the Bucks that I went to high school with.
Really?
Cam Brate. Yeah, he was a year below me.
We'll get to Naperville in a minute because I really like the Chicago Bears as like my dark horse team. That they've been getting better. Like, they won 3 games 2 years ago and 7 games last year. They were great in the preseason. They had the first draft pick. They took a quarterback named Caleb Williams, who is tremendous. Like, I really expect big things from the Chicago Bears. They're in a tough division. The Detroit Lions have really improved the last couple of years, and Green Bay is good. And the Bears have a weak schedule because when you come in last, you get the weaker schedule for the next year. The league kind of does that to help bad teams.
What do you mean weaker schedule?
Well, like, there's certain games that in the NFL, I don't want to bore our viewers with scheduling. Like, you play each team in your own division twice, once at your stadium, once at theirs. But then you play out of division games, and they'll pick who you play. And if you had a bad record the year before, you could play weaker teams.
So you had mentioned last week, you were talking about the grass at golf games. Is there anything similar with like the grass at football stadiums and how it impacts the play?
It can. Usually it's not an issue until like the end of the year. Like if you play a game, because football they play in any weather. Like, so say you're playing in Green Bay, they call it Green Bay Packers forever have been playing it. It's called Lambeau Field. And the nickname for Lambeau Field is the frozen tundra. That's a nickname that was coined in the 1960s because they played some games there in like 35 below zero on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Screw that.
So it's rare, but it can happen where the field has affected. And there have been arguments that some games historically should have never been played.
Do they not have indoor football stadiums?
They do, but
they should in Chicago.
They don't in Chicago. They play outdoors.
That's crazy.
But a lot of purists like the game being played. They want weather to be a factor. They're like, that's football.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people think dome football.
Men are supposed to be tough.
Yeah,
they
like
can handle anything.
A lot of people think dome football is like not as good.
Interesting.
But it takes the weather element out of it.
That's my thought.
So the AFC East, I like Miami. A lot of people like the New York Jets. The Jets have been horrible for the last few years. They have Aaron Rodgers, who, hasn't played in like 2 years, almost. But he didn't play at all in the preseason. Now
that's like embarrassing. Can you imagine being on a team and you never play? Is that normal?
Well, he had an injury. It wasn't his fault.
Okay.
But like now he's coming back. He didn't play at all in the preseason. They're playing at San Francisco Monday night. The Jets have talent, but I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers guy. He played college football at the University of California. I was a big fan of his in college. I'm like, this guy's going to be great. And the Green Bay Packers took him in the first round of the draft, but he was like the 28th pick. I'm watching the draft. I'm like, how is not anyone taking this guy?
Yeah.
And it turned out I was right. He won multiple MVP awards. But I'm worried that Aaron Rodgers is done. I'm really curious to see what happens Monday night.
What's his injury?
He's towards Achilles tendon.
Oh.
It's pretty bad.
Like
that's hard to recover. That. Yeah, it's hard to recover from.
That's rough.
But he's playing the game in San Francisco, is where he grew up and went to college, that area. So the 49ers are good. They have a great defense. But the Jets have talent. That's going to be an interesting game. And for those that gamble, like the point spread on that game is only like San Francisco is only favored by 4. So it tells me like these guys know something, because you would think with a quarterback who didn't play in 2 years that spread should be, it's in San Francisco, you would think that spread should be like 7 or 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. But I'm really interested to see if Aaron Rodgers has anything left. And he's like 40 years old or something, which is, like I said, pretty old.
Yeah.
But I like Miami in that division. The AFC North could be one of the most competitive divisions in football. You got the Baltimore Ravens, who I mentioned are playing Kansas City. Cincinnati Bengals, they lost their quarterback last year. It was a really great quarterback from LSU, Joe Burrow. Go LSU. And the Cleveland Browns are really good. Like, the Cleveland Browns lost their best running back last year, Nick Chubb. And
when you say lost, like they moved to it. Okay.
Same thing with Joe Burrow. When I say lost, I mean they got hurt. There's a lot of injuries. Injuries are a big part of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's so high impact.
Like, say, I don't wish it on any team or anybody. Don't misunderstand me. But, like, say Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, out for the year. Goodbye, Kansas City. They're screwed.
Wow, he's really holding the team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say teams have recovered from it. Like, the Miami Dolphins went undefeated in 1972. The only team ever to go undefeated for the whole year and the playoffs and the Super Bowl. And their quarterback was a guy named Bob Greasy. And he got hurt early in the season. And their backup was Earl Morrall, who was a good veteran quarterback, Earl Morrall. And they went undefeated anyway. Wow. I think Greasy might have come back for the playoffs, but they went undefeated with their backup quarterback. They were so good. But that's usually, if you lose your quarterback, it's
you're done.
Unless he's out only like 3 or 4 games.
Right.
But if they're out for the season, so, I mean, that's an area where football has really changed since I was a kid. Like, in the 70s, 80s, you won with defense. Now, if you don't have an elite quarterback, forget it.
That's crazy that one position could.
It's so critical. Like, you have to.
That's probably why they get paid the most, right?
And this past year's draft, the most quarterbacks ever taken in the first round of the NFL draft since 1983, because teams recognize the importance of an elite quarterback. Mm-hmm. So that AFC North, that could be anybody. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cincinnati got Joe Burrow back. Cleveland got Nick Chubb back. The AFC South is Jacksonville has a really good quarterback. I like the Houston Texans have a great quarterback named C.J. Stroud, and he killed last year, and they're just kind of getting better. So I watch out for the Houston Texans. AFC West is Kansas City. They're in a weak division, so if Patrick Mahomes stays healthy, they'll probably make the playoffs. But for them to three-peat.
If you had to make a prediction right now, who's going to win the Super Bowl, what's your answer?
One team right now.
Who's going to win?
You know, the gun to my head?
Yes, right now. Go.
I'm going to say Miami Dolphins.
All right. You heard it. Let's see if Tom's right.
Let's write this down. Your peerless prognosticator has given you this. You can go to Vegas and bet it now and get, like, odds. Like, if you bet the Miami Dolphins to win the Super Bowl now, you might get, like, 50-1.
Yeah.
So you might want to think about that, flying out there.
Well, let's go to Vegas.
You've never been to Vegas, right? Did you tell me that?
Yeah. Well, I went when I was 14 for like a day with a family member, but that does not count. I have not done Vegas the way you should do Vegas.
I lived there for just short of 2 years. I love the weather. Like, people say, oh, it's so hot there, but it's like what we call it dry heat. Like, you don't have humidity. So like 100 degrees there is not really that.
You're not dripping sweat.
Yeah, you're not. It didn't bother me.
Let's plan a trip.
They do have like they have a winter. Like, I mean, you don't see snow, but like November, December, and at night it gets a lot colder all year long. Mm-hmm. But I can remember wearing like much heavier jackets than I ever wore in Florida. So it gets
pretty. You're not at the pool parties that time of year then.
No, the pool parties probably start like
August,
April
or May.
May, and then. I used to love the Friday afternoon pool party.
I bet you did.
I was sure my work was done early. Tominator would be going to the pool party.
I would love to see you at a pool party.
I was tan like all year long, like black tan. Like
wow.
You must.
And did you have hair back then?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Tom with hair.
People thought I was Brazilian or something.
Did you wear a little Speedo too, like the thong Speedo?
I was a lot thinner. I was like almost like overly thin. I'm 6'1". I probably weighed like 170.
170? Tom, you were frail.
I was like too thin.
God. Why?
I went on the Atkins diet and it kind of out of control. I had to get off it.
What the hell diet is that?
You know, where you only no carb diet.
Oh God. Well,
and I was on it religiously. Like, some people get on that and they try, but like, I mean, I wouldn't eat. If it had one carb in it, I wouldn't eat it. So
you would get hammered, obviously, and you wouldn't eat bread.
Vodka has no carbs. So
but like, that's discipline.
No bread.
To be able to not be drunk and be like, give me that pizza. Like, you were able to just eat meat when you were drunk.
And
it's crazy.
I went on it. Someone recommended it. And in like 3 months, I lost 40 pounds on that. And like, people were coming up to me even who knew me, like, are you sick?
Oh my gosh.
And like, do you have cancer or something?
Jesus.
Wow. So I got off the diet.
Yeah, well, we want healthy, Tom.
I didn't really mind it though, because like, you can eat all the steak you want? Check.
Yeah.
I can drink all the vodka I want? Check. Okay. And I used to get like at lunch, I would buy cold cuts and just eat them with no bread, just like on a plate.
With cheese? You get
like,
cheese, right?
Yeah, like
that's
turkey
actually
and cheese.
good, just rolling it up like that. Yeah. All right. Maybe I should do that as my wedding diet. I got like 45 days to lose 4 pounds. So.
Yeah, that's even closer than the election.
Yeah, shit.
All right, now let's go to the other conference football, the NFC, National Football Conference, the NFC East. The big two teams there are Philadelphia and Dallas. I like Philadelphia. They picked up Saquon Barkley. He was a running back on the Giants last year. He went to Philadelphia. That was a big addition. Dallas, I'm not sold on Dallas. I mean, they're good. If I had to pick like a sleeper team in that division, the Washington Commanders, they've forever known as the Washington Redskins. They changed their name to Commanders.
Because Redskins like an Indian?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
politically correct.
Okay.
But they drafted, the second pick in the draft was quarterback from LSU, Jaden Daniels, and he looks great. So now they got that elite quarterback. I could see Washington really improving dramatically. So, but I like Philadelphia in that division, but watch out for Washington as a wild card team.
All right.
NFC North, I talked about earlier, I like Chicago, but that's Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago. That's a very competitive division. The only team I would toss there is Minnesota. I do not like
Vikings.
Minnesota. Yeah, I do not like them.
I think of the Lizzo song when I say that.
But watch out for them Chicago Bears as my dark horse team there.
All right, cool.
The NFC South could be one of the worst divisions in football. So, like, that's why Tampa Bay makes the playoffs, because they're in the worst division. It's them and New Orleans. So I think Atlanta's in that division. It's really not much of a division.
Yeah.
So Tampa Bay, their quarterback is Baker Mayfield, who won the Heisman Trophy in college. And he was drafted first in the draft. It was kind of like a bust. Bounced around a couple teams. Tampa Bay got him. He's looked good. He's gotten a lot better with the Bucs. So he's competent. He's a decent quarterback, probably above average. So I could see Tampa Bay making the playoffs. I don't see them going far. Mm-hmm. And the NFC West, we have San Francisco has great defense. I'm not sold on their quarterback. He got hurt last year. That's why they didn't win the Super Bowl. Seattle, they're just average. The LA Rams could be good, but you got to like San Francisco in that division. If their quarterback produces, they could win the Super Bowl. I mean, they're certainly one of the favorites. So everybody's excited about football. We got the big game tonight. I mentioned last week we got the Friday night game. It's in Brazil, Philadelphia and Green Bay, but it's on Peacock. I don't know. We got to find out if bars will show Peacock.
I'm sure some of them are. I'll start asking around.
That's kind of lame now, taking away our football. We talked about it last week. I mean, if you're a person who can't afford Peacock, I mean, that kind of sucks.
I think it's only like $7.
I wonder if I can sue somebody for that. Hey, some people can't afford $7.
But here's the thing. This is a perfect opportunity for bars, for sports bars. Get a Peacock subscription, and then you market that shit, and everyone's going to come watch the game. That has to be legal, right?
I'm sure
I would have people over to watch my Netflix, right? Like, it's not illegal, so.
If I ever told you this, Morgan, I don't think I have, but at the end of the day, if you boil down any issue in life to the lowest common denominator, it comes down to one of two things, money or sex. Like, everything is about that.
Yes, you're right.
If you really boil it down.
For men, yes.
Everything is about one of those things, if not both, at the same time. I mean, so it's about money. Peacock wants money.
Yeah. Well, let's find a bar. It's Friday, you said? It's the Friday
Yeah, it's
game?
Friday night.
I'm sure there's somewhere on the key.
So that's why I made the early dinner reservation. So that
5:45. Yeah, the senior special.
No, there ain't no senior special. We're going.
Not at Summer House, no. Full price for everyone.
Maybe we can get a free app if I give them a shout out. Summer House on Siesta Key. It's an elite restaurant.
It's very good.
I'm already looking. I'm getting old when I'm looking at menus like 2 days before.
I've been looking at menus a week before my
I know
whole
what
life.
I'm getting 2 days before we go.
I study that shit.
I'm getting the ribeye, the wedge salad, and I'm like, am I going to go for the lobster bisque soup or just stick with the... I don't want to... I'm trying to watch my weight, too, for the wedding, you know. I'll just go for the salad and the ribeye.
Yeah, I probably won't get the side of mashed potatoes, I guess. But, they have that lobster mac and cheese.
Oh, that's so good. The lobster mac side is awesome. I like it.
Maybe we'll split one for the table.
Maybe, but I can't get all that. That'll be a diet killer. You know, you have those like Ghostbusters, a picture of a ghost with a red circle in the line.
Yeah.
That would be like a diet buster. Lobster mac and cheese, put a red circle around.
Literally, though, that's like the worst thing you can get. It's so good, though. Oh, God.
We're going to give a shout out to lunch today. It's at Patrick's in Sarasota on Main Street. They have good lunch specials. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be cheapy. It will be a business expense, though. We're going to be talking business.
All right, cool.
So I think that about does it for today. So everybody look to the debate Tuesday. See Trump and Kamala Harris. Here's what Trump said today. Get back to politics real quick. He goes, I can't believe he said this. I guess his experts or his advisors, gave him the okay. He goes, I understand a lot of people hate me, but even if you hate me, what choice do you have? You're going to vote for her? He's like, I don't know if that's good or that'll work for him or not. We'll see. But he's saying, I admit I'm an asshole, but
I'm the best option you got.
I think Trump is an asshole, but I think he gets shit done.
Yeah.
His whole life, he's had he's had failures, of course, but
yeah.
All in all, the guy, I think he was a good president. If it wasn't for COVID, the country was rolling along great until COVID came.
Yeah, COVID killed everything.
Yeah, that was kind of, we survived it.
Yep.
But so we'll look at the debate. Tonight we're going to watch football, and we look forward to seeing...
Queer.
Well, I want to see Wolves first.
We're going to see whatever comes out in theaters first, and then we'll report back.
And then I don't think I'm going to go see Maria. I don't want to see a movie about. I do think Angelina Jolie is attractive.
We should definitely see all three. I'm sure it's a great movie. She's a really good actress.
Yeah, I like her. All right, so everybody have a great week and enjoy your football.
Thank you.